You know, in a world that feels more and more chaotic, what does it actually mean to be a good leader? It kind of feels like the old rulebooks just aren't cutting it anymore. So today, we're going to explore a new leadership playbook, one that blends cold, hard data with something, well, a lot more human. Let's dive in.
And this quote, it really gets to the very heart of the problem, doesn't it? From massive corporate failures to political scandals, it feels like we're facing a real crisis in leadership. And look, we're not just talking about a few bad apples here. This points to a much deeper challenge in how we even think about leading in the first place.
So here's the deal. The old playbook? It's pretty much obsolete. That top-down, by-the-book style of leadership was built for a predictable world. And I think we can all agree that world just doesn't exist anymore. Today's leaders are trying to navigate a landscape that changes by the minute, and the old maps are basically useless.
And, you know, there's actually a great acronym for all this chaos, VUCA. It stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. In short, it's that feeling of having to make these huge decisions while the ground is constantly shifting right under your feet. This is the new normal for every single leader out there.
Okay, so to really get this, let's start with the traditional approach, what we can call the logical leader's playbook. This is all about leadership that's grounded in data, in established processes, and in very clear ethical frameworks. It's the rational, time-tested way of doing things.
For decades, the core belief has been super simple. Good ethics is good business. The whole idea is that if you build your organization on a solid foundation of clear rules and values, you're going to see the benefits in everything from employee morale all the way to client trust. It was meant to be this reliable formula for success.
And yeah, the pillars of this whole approach are probably exactly what you'd guess. Acting with integrity and honesty, taking accountability for your actions, making sure there's fairness, having empathy for your team, and, of course, maintaining transparency. These are the kinds of observable behaviors you'd see in a classic ethical leader.
And this approach gives leaders a really clear 5-step process. You recognize the issue, you get the facts, you evaluate your options, you decide, and then you reflect. It's a rational framework designed to take all the emotion and guesswork out of the equation. It seems perfect, right? It works. Until it doesn't. So what happens when you're facing a problem where the facts just run out? And that brings us to the other side of the coin. In this crazy VUCA world, data, which is always from the past, can only take you so far. There are these moments when a leader has to navigate a situation that has literally never happened before, where the playbook has zero answers. This is where intuitive purpose has to kick in. I mean, Henry Kissinger just nailed it when he said this. If you wait around for certainty, you just become a prisoner of events. Leaders have to make these incredibly tough calls that affect a lot of people, and they often have to do it without perfect information. They have to act based on a deeper sense of what's right, an intuition that you just can't prove with a spreadsheet.
So, take a look at this. It really breaks down these two different ways of knowing. Over on the left, you've got objective facts, provable, measurable data from the past. But on the right, you have subjective wisdom, that inner intuition, guided by your conscience, focused on what's happening right now. One relies on looking outside, the other demands that we look inward. And look, this is not just some fuzzy philosophical idea. Research shows it has a real-world, bottom-line impact. Get this. Corporate traders who blend hard data with their honed intuition consistently get far better returns than those who just rely on one or the other. It's a brilliant illustration of the power of using both.
So, where does that leave us? Well, it leads us to the synthesis. The most effective leaders today don't choose between data and intuition. They integrate them. They find what some people call a third way by creating this tension between both. This, right here, is the superpower of the modern leader.
And this powerful, integrated model has a name. It's called transformational leadership. It's all about inspiring your team with a clear, compelling vision, but doing it in a way that's grounded in a deep, authentic sense of purpose. It's really the perfect blend of head and heart, of data and direction.
So what does a transformational leader actually do? Well, they inspire a shared vision that gets everyone genuinely excited. They empower their teams, giving them real ownership and trust. They build psychological safety, they foster creativity, and they actually care about the personal growth of every single person. Their integrity isn't just about following rules. It's grounded in a powerful, personal sense of purpose.
And this is exactly why it's so incredibly critical right now. A transformational leader sees that threatening VUCA reality,
All that volatility and uncertainty, not as some crisis to be managed, but as a massive opportunity to make a real, positive impact. Purpose becomes this incredible anchor of hope and meaning right in the middle of all the chaos.
Okay, this all sounds great, right? But let's be real. This path, as powerful as it isn't easy. Leading with purpose comes with both incredible rewards and some pretty significant risks. There's always a trade-off.
Think of it like this. On one side, you've got the purpose dividend. This is the amazing reward, a career with limitless meaning, a deep well of energy and resilience, and the ability to attract the absolute best talent. But on the other side, there's the purpose premium you have to pay. This means giving up the safety net of just following the rules, risking failure without a clear playbook, and sometimes challenging what society expects of you.
And make no mistake, the need for this is urgent. This data is absolutely staggering. Researchers found that only 9% of CEOs and 11% of managers qualify as top-tier ethical leaders. Just think about that for a second. The vast majority don't. This shows a massive, massive gap between the kind of leadership our world desperately needs and what we actually have.
So here's the bottom line. True purpose isn't just some vague mission statement you hang on a wall. It's been described as love in action. It's an active, unstoppable force. If your purpose doesn't demand that you change your actions, that you give things up, then frankly, it's just talk. It's not real.
And that brings us to the final question. And honestly, this one's for you. This path, this blend of data and deep intuition, it will challenge you. Your purpose will demand that you change things in your company, in your community, and absolutely in yourself. So the real question is, are you ready to lead it?